Hey, what's up? It's Ike Paz, and today I have a very special guest, Cody from Gold City Ventures. And today he's going to talk about, and by the way, this guy knows a lot about Etsy SEO and selling printables on Etsy. Okay, so I'm really excited to have him. He's had a ton of success. Him and his business partner Julie, they've had a ton of success on Etsy selling digital products, printables. Okay. So first, I want Cody to introduce himself and let us know how he got into printables and all that good stuff. How you doing, Cody?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing awesome. Yeah, glad to get reconnected after you came and talked to our group about Crispy Prints and all the cool stuff you got going on there. But yeah, I got started in printables. I come from the kind of personal finance side hustle space. I'm obsessed with building systems, making passive income. Any way that I can disassociate my time with my money, I'm all for it. So Julie, who you've been referencing a couple of times, my now business partner, she was a friend of mine. She had introduced me to printables. She's like, hey, I made like 6 grand off this last year. I spent like 50 hours building my shop. And then, she was having a kid. She got busy and she was still making thousands of dollars per month off these designs. So I was like, I'm just going to give it a whirl. I wasn't a techie guy. Didn't have a design eye or anything. My first couple creations weren't the best, but I started to get the hang of it. Probably 4 or 5 months in after I first started creating printables, I started to kind of just chase the seasonal stuff. So before we hit record here, we're talking, it's Valentine's Day or right after Valentine's Day as we're recording. That first kind of season where I had a ton of success, I had made all these Valentine's Day printables. I was actually skiing in Lake Tahoe with my girlfriend, now fiance, Lauren, and my phone was blowing up. For those who sell on Etsy, you're familiar with the cha-ching sound if you have that notification on, if you have your sound on. So I was expecting a call. I had my sound on. The cha-ching sound was happening all up the ski lift, all down the mountain, but it was freezing. So I didn't want to take my phone out. Go in for lunch, and I had made like $150, $200 from this one product that I was selling. And I was like, oh my God, I'm onto something here. Fast forward to the end of that week, and I had made, I think it was like $820 from just 2 products that just blew up. And that was kind of the catalyst for this whole printables journey. And, before that, I was semi-skeptical. I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not doing this right. I was making like 20, 25 bucks a month with just a couple of printables. And then maybe it become 20, 25 bucks a week, but I'd never seen volume like that. I'd never seen money come in like that from this product that took me legit 3 hours to create. So that's kind of where it all started. Like,
Wow, Cody, there's a lot to unpack there. I have a lot of questions of my own. First off, congratulations on having
Thanks,
your fiance and that commitment you're going to have in the future. Second off, Julie got you into printables. Is that right? Or is it vice versa?
No, she got me into it. Yeah, she was the pioneer.
Okay. And after that, why did you delve into the Valentine's Day in particular? Was it just the timing, or she prompted you to do that, or did you do research first? Like, what happened there?
Yeah, I started to do some keyword research, and I know you mentioned Etsy SEO. So I started to do some keyword research, and I was like, okay, I'm making these general printables and they're not selling. They're just not selling. I'm not targeting the right keywords. I'm not hitting the right niche. I'm not finding the right buyers. So I started to, use some keyword research tools we can talk about today and figure out like, okay, if I actually want to be successful selling in, and it did happen to just be the timing. If I want to be successful selling in February, which was the next holiday, kind of missed the Christmas wave, but I didn't make any Christmas printables. I started making all these in January. And yeah, through just keyword research, I was like, okay, there's going to be this amount of people searching for this based on the stats that I'm looking at from last year. Let me just give it a whirl and see if I can make printables that this cohort, these buyers will want to buy. And it worked out.
Beautiful. Okay. And but before we hit the record button, Cody and I were talking. Cody just got back from Aruba, and he's still earning online passively doing this. I'm excited to tell people about printables, but a lot of times when I'm explaining this, like if I go to an outing or something, and I'm talking to an acquaintance of mine, it's almost like I'm lying to them. I feel like, yes, I sell. So you ship these actual printables. No, I don't ship anything. It's a digital product. They download it once they buy it, and then they print it out. So they wait. Excuse me. They pay you for a template. Basically, yeah, a digital template. And it's really hard for me to convey that. When people ask you, what do you do? What do you say? Because I'm looking for a good way to answer that question. What do you say? Cody?
I usually define printables first. So I'll say things like planners and calendars and invitations and games and activities. And so I'll first define the printable. And I'm like, yeah, it's like buying anything online where, that person isn't physically, or, buying anything digital online, that person isn't shipping the product to you. That person isn't packaging it and worrying about inventory. You're just getting the download immediately once that exchange goes through, once you're buying it on Etsy or Shopify or wherever. So yeah. And then from the passive income standpoint, it's like you just said, you literally spend time creating that design, that product once. And it doesn't matter if I sell it to one person or 1,000 people, it's no additional overhead for me because there's no shipping, there's no packaging, there's nothing like that involved, which is why I'm so obsessed with digital products. And I know you are too, Ike.
Definitely, I am. And I don't know how to say this, but the long-term passivity of it. I mean, I've still been earning online for like 8 years now on prints I created like 6 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And I did that once. It took me like 10 to 15, 20 minutes to put together the actual product. And it just keeps on paying forward or paying me back again and again and again. And as I know you've experienced this, Julie reached out to me because of this. We have this shared printable business model that we both do, that we all, the three of us do. And, like you mentioned before we hit the record button, you were in Aruba chilling out, hanging out with your fiance, and you were earning online with printables. One thing I have a question about is the Etsy SEO. I'm more of a WooCommerce guy, and I get my my traffic from Pinterest, as we've spoken about in the past. And one of the best things about Etsy is the built-in buyer traffic, right? It's very much like Amazon. It's a search engine for buyers. When people type into Etsy, they're looking to buy something. And I think you and Julie have harnessed that to the nth degree. You guys are on point. And that's why I'm really excited to have you on, because I want to learn something. My audience, my people, they want to learn something. And I have a ton of subscriber audience questions here that I'm ready to fire away. Do you mind if I start asking you these questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Cody. I really appreciate this. By the way, guys, I vetted both Julie and Cody. They have a ton of testimonials. They got a lot of people saying good things about them. And not only that, they've helped others, a slew of other people to do the same thing online. So I'm really, really excited to have Cody and by extension, Julie, because they work off each other all the time. I'm really happy to have and provide this type of information to you if you're watching. Okay, so here we have some subscriber user-based questions. First off, what is Etsy SEO? Etsy SEO is kind of a tongue twister. What is Etsy SEO all about? Excuse me, after you.
So it's kind of like what I was mentioning before, why I wasn't successful at first and why I then became successful with those Valentine's Day stuff, is you want to find the sweet spot between search demand and competition. So what we call unicorns in the course and just kind of in our community is a product with really high search traffic, search volume. There's a lot of people typing that into the Etsy search bar, and low competition. There's not that many people selling competing products. Those are the products that are going to do really, really well. This is just based on statistics. So before going in and spending your time creating a bunch of different printable designs or digital products, you need to go in and do that product research, making sure that there's enough people searching for this product and not everyone and their mother is selling it in their Etsy shop. So that's kind of one of the first things. That's not a one sentence answer, but like in the shortest way possible, that's what Etsy SEO is all about. Making sure that the search demand is there and making sure that competition isn't too much.
That's right. And just to let you know, guys, all the resources I'll be mentioning, that Cody will be mentioning, more importantly, will be in the description box down below. Will be below this video. So make sure you check those out. And to Cody's point, we want to find that middle ground, that unicorn, as he says, that point where you have a decent amount of search volume and low competition. You want to strike that and profit that way. And one of the cool things about printables, I'm sure Cody would agree, is that they're not difficult to create. So it's not like you found a really cool niche and you got to source a product on Alibaba Express or something, and you got to deal with all that kind of stuff and all that overhead. No. They're really easy to create. How important, this is a really interesting question. And again, I'm here as a learner, guys. I'm learning from Cody. Okay, I consider him an expert when it comes to Etsy SEO. Him and Julie. How important is SEO to Etsy's current search algo? Some people have been talking about the current Etsy algorithm, and SEO and relevance. What do you say to that? How important is SEO to Etsy's current algorithm?
So it's definitely really important. But what I'll say is, for those of you who are getting scared by us talking about SEO and keyword research, it's not the be all end all. We do have a lot of students in our course who have just kind of created products that have scratched their own itch. And there might not have been search volume for that thing because it wasn't a thing before. Like, they're creating something that's novel. They're creating something that's new to market. In that case, where they're just creating something to scratch their own itch, it's something that they've been wanting for a long time. They didn't see it on Etsy, and then they go and create it and they make a ton of sales off of it. You wouldn't know that by doing keyword research or, SEO work. You just wouldn't know that because there's no searches for that product before. So that's what I'll say. If this seems really overwhelming, just start with products that are beneficial to you. Like, if you're making I know one example was someone made like a 70th birthday card or 70th birthday card for a dad or something. And they just didn't see many of them on Etsy. And they made a really nice looking 70th birthday card for their dad. Like, they're in their personal life. It was a product they were using themselves. They went and listed on Etsy, and they have like a couple hundred sales in that product today. So it's not the be all end all, but what I'll say is that it is important. Like, once you get the momentum rolling, and so don't get bogged down in doing the keyword research and the SEO. Maybe make a few printables just to get your feet wet and start to understand the process. But then if you do want to become a successful shop and start making hundreds or thousands per month, then keyword research starts to become more important. And you do want to look at the search volume and the competition.
I like that. So be your own customer, understand yourself, and understand that there are probably other people like you who want the same thing that's not available. So that's a good newbie strategy from the get-go. Don't be overwhelmed by the SEO. Very nice. Are there any hidden Etsy fees that you know of? This is a question I got from another subscriber. I know there's a listing fee, which is minimal. Are there any other Etsy hidden fees?
They're not hidden. Etsy comes right out and tells you what their fees are. The listing fee that you're talking about, it's 20 cents to list a product. And then every time someone buys that product, it renews and it's another 20 cents, which is, again, it's minimal. Like, it's really low startup cost for a business. And then Etsy, and this is only as a percentage of sales, all the fees kind of combined is about 5% on Etsy. But again, you're not like paying a monthly subscription. It's just like, if you make a sale, they'll take roughly 5% of that in fees.
Okay.
So nothing too crazy, but it's all laid out for you on Etsy. There's nothing hidden that, like, once you sign up, you'll all of a sudden get slapped with some $50 recurring Etsy fee or something like Shopify does.
Okay. Yes. Shopify. I don't want to get into that monster, but yeah. Etsy's really cool that way. So again, very small. And the more you make, this is a nominal, tiny little fee that's not really going to hurt your bottom line whatsoever. This is a really good question I got from another subscriber is, can I save the SEO? Let me explain what I mean by that. So let's say I publish a printable and it's not optimized, for SEO. Can I go back and save that, or is it dead in the water?
You can go back and save that. Yeah. We have a lot of people who have actually just recently, I'll give you a really relevant example. So this girl, I guess I'll leave her name out just for anonymity, but she had posted a bunch of Valentine's Day printables. We're recording this on the 15th of February. And just like on the 13th or the 14th, I don't remember what date it was, she added last minute gift or something like that to her listing description, to her tags, everything. She just threw the last minute keyword into the mix. And her sales on that product went from not great to like a ton, because so many people were typing that in because they're scrambling, looking for a last minute gift for their significant other. And boom, her product shows up because she planted she had the right SEO and she planted that keyword into that product. So yes, by all means, you don't have to have the perfect product. You can change literally everything about the product after you list it. You can change the product deliverable itself. You can change the title of the product. You can change the listing description. You can change the tags. You can change the listing pictures. There's nothing after you post that says that you can't go back and change this thing because it's already out there. So you can optimize as much as you want.
That's very good. That's very unlike YouTube. YouTube is the opposite.
Exactly.
If you don't get the exact audience retention, bye. That's it. But yeah, that's very cool. So Etsy, you can save your SEO on a product that you published, maybe a couple weeks ago or whatnot. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are the best ways to use? And this is kind of a new feature that a lot of my audience has been talking about. What are the best ways to use video on Etsy, in your opinion?
So Etsy listing videos is something they rolled out to everyone last year, beginning of 2021. And it's a great idea to have a listing video, even with a printable, like having some kind of animated thing, or let's say you have a planner, you have someone like, if it's a digital planner, you literally take a screen record of your computer, like you filling out the planner. If it's a physical planner, like a printable, you have a video of you filling out the planner, or whoever. You can hire a VA to do that if you don't want to do the work yourself. But it really does help you stand out from the competition. And a lot of times buyers will buy your products because now they have a much better understanding of what it is that they're getting because you have that listing video. Also, this is very, very new and it's not available to everyone yet. So I don't want everyone to like go looking for it. But Etsy is starting like this new like creator studio thing where only a few select people on Etsy, I think it's just sellers who have some kind of longevity, are able to kind of create videos kind of like Pinterest and YouTube and like the shorts with an Etsy product and have people kind of find you that way in the algorithm. So it's like almost Etsy's own little social media platform that they're experimenting with. Again, I don't know if it's going anywhere. It's just available to some people as beta testers, but it's something to keep your eye out for because I'm not sure when you'll be watching this video. Maybe it's going to be huge in a couple of years from now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's really big. Those little shorts, YouTube experimenting, Pinterest is doing that now. It makes sense. Etsy's doing it. So so you're saying Etsy's going to have its own internal social media component kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. With little short videos, just like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and all the other platforms now, I guess.
Cool. What would you suggest to get more views on your Etsy shop besides SEO? Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah. So the main listing picture is that's the portal into your shop. If you have the best Etsy SEO ever, you have all the perfect keywords, you did all of your research on search volume and competition, and you have all the best products possible, and you have crappy listing images, nobody's going to click on that item. It is literally the gatekeeper. If you don't have an attractive looking listing picture on that main listing picture, the second one, the third one, they can all look like crap. But if that first one does not pull the buyer in on that search page, once they type in whatever printable they're looking for or whatever product they're looking for, then you lost. You lost to whoever has a better looking listing picture than you. So I would say that's probably one of the most important things to focus on after, in addition to SEO, obviously. But if we're keeping SEO out of the equation for that question, I would say listing picture for sure.
That's the same thing as Pinterest. Yeah. And I mean, it's not difficult to do, but there are components you have to have, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm sure Cody understand. I mean, it's not difficult to do, but there are components you must have, like drop shadows, for example, that thing makes things pop out and accentuate. Anyways, that's a whole other box. But yes, definitely. Really cool. Do you have a short, and I'm sorry, I'm just firing away, guys.
I'm
got questions here. Yeah. And again, resources down below. I have more information about this and everything that Cody mentions in this video, in this interview, I'm going to have down below. Do you have a short list for SEO for your listing, like a checklist, excuse me? Do you have a short Etsy shop checklist, Cody?
I do. I'm not going to know all of them off the top of my head. It's a lot of the stuff we've already been talking about, but yeah, it's things like making sure, let's use the last minute Valentine's as an example. So making sure I have that really specific keyword. Like I'm like, this is a highly trafficked keyword, making sure that's in my title, making sure that's in my description, making sure that I have tags related to that, making sure that I mention the name of the product or it's very apparent what that product is in that main listing image. Those are just a few off the top of my head, but yeah, I try to just keep my process rigid, and my process is different than everybody else's. Once you find whatever works for you, once you find what the lowest friction process is for you to start creating these things, start creating digital products to sell on Etsy, then just, write it down in your notes app or write it down on, a sticky note on your computer, whatever it might be that will kind of keep you accountable and make the process easy and replicable for you. Do that.
That's right. Repeat success, write it down and make it cold and factory-ish. You don't want to think too much. You don't want to involve too much of yourself in it. Once you find the winning pattern, stick to it. And that's one of the things Cody and Julie offers is a winning pattern. Again, I defer to Julie and Cody when it comes to SEO, Etsy SEO, excuse me. They have so much proof behind them. And, again, I'm really happy to have him today. Even he's all tanned up back from Aruba, ready to answer my question. I really appreciate it. It's pretty late over there, I'm sure. So don't worry. I have just a couple more questions from my audience. What does a new store use SEO to stand out? How does a new store use SEO to stand out in the crowd? This is kind of a big question. Let me add some context behind this. Okay, so you know how on Pinterest, your account needs to be positioned in a way, your boards, for example, positioned in a way to speak to that niche or to that category. Is that the same thing with Etsy? Do you have to set up your account to be niche specific, or can it go off into different niches?
So this is where Pinterest and Etsy differ. With Etsy, you can have multiple niches and you can still have this success. I sell all sorts of different things. I'm always tampering and testing and selling different products, and it's worked really well for me. It's unlike Pinterest where you have to have like everything super neat and sorted. Although if you are going to sell a bunch of different stuff in your Etsy shop, I would recommend using the sections feature in Etsy to kind of keep everything organized and sort by whether it's the type of printable or the holiday or whatever, however you want to categorize, but just keeping them clean that way. But unlike Pinterest where you might be going into someone's board for a bunch of ideas, usually people don't go to the person's shop and then find a product. They find a product and then end up in the person's shop. So they're going to the search bar, typing in whatever thing. They're looking at whatever listing image is most attractive to them. They're not like going into your shop and seeing what you have to offer. That's just typically not how Etsy works. They're typically finding a listing and then maybe they'll buy some other product from you if you are promoting them. Like maybe you have in your listing image, you're like, hey, if you buy this bundle, you'll get a discount. Or, hey, if, you might have in your listing description, if you like this product, here's another product you might really enjoy. So yeah, that's a roundabout answer, but it's different than Pinterest. You don't have to be as structured and organized.
That does exactly what I wanted to know, because, Pinterest, you got to be, all organized and whatnot. Etsy, it does help, but it's not necessary. That's really good. What is the biggest factor that contributes to an Etsy ranking, in your opinion?
All right.
I know,
loaded question.
It's a loaded question. I just want to ask it as raw as possible. As my audience gave it to me, I want to give it to you, and I want to see what happens and what you say. I'm curious.
I think it all goes back to the keyword research. I honestly think that's the most heavy hitting factor, because if people aren't finding that product, you can have the best product in the world. If people aren't finding it, it's not showing up in search, then you're not going to have sales. So That's what I'll say.
Thank you. That's great. That's good enough for me. How do I assess the competition of a particular? This is a good question. How do I assess the competition of a particular keyword in a few short sentences? What would you say?
So there's some tools out there. There's free ones, and this, I guess you wouldn't see competition, but if you want to check out free tools, there's Google Trends, Pinterest Trends. Those are good to, especially with the seasonal stuff, to see what types of things are getting searched. I personally use a tool called eRank, and they're really good. And you can actually check out shop competition, and you can check out other people's sales, see search volume, see competition, all that stuff. I think you can only see competition with the paid version. So again, those first two I mentioned were free, but I personally like to use eRank to check on competition and see how many people are selling certain products and see how many people are searching for those every month.
Beautiful. eRank, guys, I have the information down below with all the other resources. How long on average that you've seen, Cody, how long before I can see my printables rise in the Etsy search engine or rankings, excuse me?
It is surprisingly fast. I think Etsy, especially when a new product comes out, just gives it a chance. They'll like put it on page 1 or put it on page 2. We had a couple students this past week who just opened their shop the end of last week, and they already have like 10, 20. I think one of them had like 52 sales.
Wow.
So it doesn't take that long. Again, it doesn't happen for everyone. I'll say that. It's not like you just list a product and all of a sudden you have 100 sales in a month. It doesn't usually happen like that. Usually you have to go through the somewhat rigorous and tedious processes that I've been talking about, like making sure you've done your SEO work and keyword research and made good looking listing pictures. But yeah, we've had people just kind of really take off in really short amount of time. I think Etsy, again, this is just a guess. We don't have any secret insights into the Etsy algorithm or anything like that, just what we've seen based on data. But my guess is that when a new product comes to market, they're like, let's test this out with the user base and see if they love it. If they don't love it, if people aren't clicking on it, people aren't buying it, then it will kind of sink in the rankings. But if they do give it a chance and all of a sudden that person gets 10 sales that first day, then of course Etsy is going to keep it at the top. Because like I mentioned, Etsy takes 5%. They want to make money too. They want the most successful printables showing up at the top of search because they make money when you make money.
And guys, yeah, this what Cody's saying is true throughout. YouTube, Amazon, all of them, all of these big players, they get a piece of whatever action you produce. So of course they're going to test out what works best, and if it works best and it beats out the competition, then it's going to be sticky, is what I like to say. Be it a Pinterest pin or a YouTube video or an Amazon KDP, whatever product is going to get sticky because, well, it outperforms the competition. Really good stuff. Okay, what is your favorite? Oh, I guess you've already answered this. What's your favorite keyword tool for Etsy? I'm going to go with eRank. I think eRank, I don't want to complicate things with people watching this. eRank. Would you say that's a good choice?
Yep. I love those guys. They're great.
Okay. I got to check them out. How do okay. I got some rapid fire questions. Then we'll be done with these questions, with these audience generated questions. What are some, this is an interesting one. I had to put it down. What are some magical SEO keywords to make our products stand out?
There is not a magic bullet for this. I'm sorry. It's not like the beginning of TikTok where you could just put like hashtag FYP for your page and you get like 1 million views. It does not work like that on Etsy that I know of. If someone knows, shoot me an email.
Okay. Do you, this is a question from me. Do you use categorizers such as age or for example, age and platform, for example, for example, KDP, we might say coloring book, toddlers 3 to 4. And then some keywords in front, for example, koala coloring book, toddler 3 to 4. Do you have these type of modifiers in Etsy SEO, or would you say no?
Yeah, it's all based on keyword research. So when I'm looking at a new product and there's some modifier that I can kind of eke out some extra sales, like I see that there's a decent amount of search volume and not that much competition, then of course I'm 100% going to throw that modifier on that product. And maybe I'll tweak the product a bit to fit the modifier as well.
Okay. And this is a really good question. Thanks for that, by the way. This is a really good question that I learned a lot within ePrintable Side Hustle course. Again, I'll talk about that more down below. This is a good question. Do I need Etsy ads to sell printables?
No. You don't. Definitely not. What I will say, once you understand like how to convert, and you can see all this in the stats section of your Etsy shop, you can see that, okay, this product is doing really well. The amount of people visiting to how many people are converting, it's a great ratio. That's the type of product that maybe you should start hitting it with some ad spend, seeing how it performs. But we usually actually don't recommend people start with ads. Like, sure, you can get visibility. Maybe you'll get some clicks. Maybe you'll get a couple sales. But until you really iron out the process and you make sure that you have the best listing image, the best description, the best tags, all that stuff that we've been talking about this entire presentation or interview, you don't want to be pouring money into ads and wasting money before you kind of understand the full process. So definitely not necessary, but they can help supercharge your success once you kind of figure out all that stuff.
And to the point, that's very powerful newbie information. That's what I teach as well on different types of pod products you can sell online. Find out what works, what converts well. And then once you know this thing converts, then you can start sending traffic to it because you know it's going to do well. On that being said, if you're more advanced and you create a product and you want to know right away if it's going to fly or not, then you want to send traffic as well. But for a newbie, most definitely wait and see what the free traffic does for you. What are the most important places to use your keywords in your listing? Quickly, you mentioned title, you mentioned
Title, description, tags, listing images.
Beautiful. Alt
That's
text.
it.
Alt text. Okay, very nice. So here we go. Here's another question about SEO tags. This is something I'm not too well versed on. How important in the hierarchy of SEO? How important are tags for Etsy?
All the things I just mentioned are equally important. Etsy doesn't really spill exactly how the algorithm is calculated, but what I'll say is you have 13 tags to use on Etsy. You might not be able to fit everything you want in the title of that product, and it might just look crowded if you're just jamming keywords. It doesn't look as crowded if you're jamming keywords into the tag section. So if there's like an odd tag that maybe I want to put in that like is related to the product, but maybe it doesn't fit in the title and you don't want to just keyword stuff your description really either, that's where tags come in handy.
Okay, very good. That's a sensible answer. How do you select Etsy tags? I know there's 13 spots. How do you go about selecting them? I mean, is there
keyword research? Yeah, it's using the Google Trends, Pinterest Trends, eRank is what I use that a lot. And eRank. Just you have 20 characters, so you're going to be very concise and know exactly what you want to say in your Etsy tags. But like the last minute gifts thing is a good example. Like that might not be in the title of your description if you're selling a Valentine's Day card. That might not make sense, but it would make total sense to have in the tags.
Okay. Let me put some information here because some background information on this. So when it comes to, for example, Pinterest, it's more like a shotgun. I focus on just one keyword, and what works best for me. When it comes to for like another type of product, like a KDP product, the diversity. It's more about diversity, different kinds of keywords. When it comes to Etsy tags, is it more like coloring book this, coloring book that, coloring book this, or is it coloring book, gift, something? Do you understand? Is it you're focusing on just one keyword or multiple keywords with
I would say it's more of a shotgun approach with Etsy. You want to hit on more keywords. It's not as important, like you were mentioning with Pinterest, as just like dialing in on like one super specific keyword. If you can eke out sales from other keywords, and again, this is specifically talking about tags, then throw some other tags in there that maybe don't seem super not that don't seem related, but maybe aren't that like main target keyword. Something that's like, if this person typed this in, they would still be happy to find my product. That's the important part. You don't want to put like random tags in to try to just get people to your product, because Etsy would probably pull them toward your product if you have a tag that's related to whatever they search for. But if your product doesn't match that buyer's needs, then you're not going to make sales, and you're just actually going to be hurting yourself with the algorithm, because you're going to have people click on your product and not buy it.
That's right. Remember, no, perfectly. We talked about this earlier. Etsy is always testing, and if you fail to perform, they're not going to put you out there in the platform. They're going to hide you on the 4th or 5th page.
Exactly.
Heaven forbid. Okay. And this is the last question here. What are short titles? Oh, sorry. Which are better, short titles or long ones?
We've done a lot of research. We don't have a definitive answer on this one, unfortunately. I really wish I did. I do like medium length titles. What I will say is that the most important part of your title should be at the very beginning. So when someone's searching on Etsy, it doesn't just show like a 100 character title. It's cut off. It'll show like the first couple words. So you go to make sure those first couple words are the most important, most descriptive, most accurate words reflecting what your listing is all about. You can, again, you kind of put more keywords into the title. And I really wish I had a better answer for you, Ike. We've done some testing. It doesn't seem to make too much of a difference as long as that first part of that title is the most relevant piece that people are searching for.
You're going to end it like that on a question mark, Cody? No, very good, man. You gave us a lot to think about, a lot to chew on. Again, Cody, I defer to Cody and Julie when it comes to Etsy, SEO. I learned a lot because they shared their course with me, ePrintable Side Hustle. In this course, it's maybe the biggest course I've ever experienced. Even outside of selling printables, I'm still digging through it. They have a ton of testimonials from other people that they've helped profit online with printables. And again, Cody, Julie, and I, we have a hard time expressing how easy it is to earn online with this way, right? There is the idea of passive income, and then there's affiliate marketing, then there's drop shipping, then there's outsourcing to places in China and whatnot. Out of all these methods, I used to drop ship diaper cakes. I do affiliate marketing. I do a lot of things, but printables, and to this day, is the easiest way I still earn online. And I'm sure Cody can vouch for it. Like Cody said in the beginning of this interview, he left his job, right? He was in the finance world. He left his job. He's comfortable now. He just got back from Aruba with his fiance. And I live a similar lifestyle. I'm kind of locked down now here in Japan, but I do travel as much as I can with my family. And I want you guys, if you're watching this, come on in. The water's warm. I try to provide you with the best information out there. And here's Cody providing you with even more value. Anything you want to tell people about you, about Julie, about your business online with printables, about your course, ePrintable Side Hustle, anything you want to talk about, Cody?
Well, I know you got it covered. They can check it out, the link in your description for the ePrintables course. But what I'll say is, if you feel overwhelmed from watching this interview, you don't have to start by doing the things I just mentioned. You don't have to go and do hours of keyword research. You don't have to have the perfect listing image that's better than everybody else's. Honestly, momentum is more important than anything. In anything, honestly, going to the gym for 5 minutes, then becomes 10 minutes, then becomes 20, then it becomes 30. And all of a sudden, a year later, you're in the best shape of your life. It's the same thing with selling printables or any side hustle, getting any kind of momentum and then just building on that momentum. Maybe you're not ready to dive into keyword research tools. That's fine. Make a birthday invitation, make a calendar, make something that's useful to yourself, and you'll start to like the process. It'll start to become fun. And as it starts to become more and more fun, then you can start to learn how to make money out of it, how to turn this into a legitimate side hustle. So that's what I'll leave you with.
Great. Final words for people watching. Again, guys, take it one step at a time. Just try it, like Cody says, and make it a habit, right? How do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant a bite at a time. So it's the same thing here with this huge, you think of this huge idea. How do I create a passive income business? Start off by creating a Valentine's Day card and sell it on Etsy. And the beauty about Etsy is, like we talked about before, it's its own, has its own buyer traffic, people already there looking to buy something, and there's no reason why they won't buy from you. So with that, Cody, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to have you on the Internet Marketing YouTube channel, Internet Marketing Gym YouTube channel. And I hope to have you back on. Does that sound cool? Can I have you back on someday?
Sounds awesome, man. Looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Again, I'll have the ePrintables Side Hustle course down below with my custom bonuses. Check it out. Talk to you soon. Bye.